What if I told you there was an immensely powerful character from Marvel history that you may have never heard of, but who is intrinsically tied to some of the greatest characters and biggest teams and events from Marvel history? Someone tied to stories like Infinity Wars, Annihilation, tied to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, tied to Drax, to Mantis and the entire Guardians team, and tied to Thanos himself. Who is it? Moondragon. Let's talk about her. But before we do, let me say thank you for watching the channel, whether it's your first time here or you're back for more. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the content I upload just like this every few days. Let's jump back to the story. Heather Douglas is from Los Angeles, California, raised there by her mother Yvette and her real estate agent father Arthur. One night in the 1950s, they were heading back across the desert after seeing Elvis Presley perform at the International Hotel in Las Vegas, when they spotted a spaceship, a UFO up in the sky. The ship belonged to Thanos. He was on his first scouting mission to Earth, and to preserve the secrecy of his mission, he fired a beam at the car, which caused it to swerve into a guardrail, seemingly killing everyone inside. He wanted no witnesses. A Titan named Emlot showed up at the wreckage, reached out, and took Heather's hand. And he brought her back to Titan, where she stayed with the leader of Titan for a while, at the home of Mentor, father to Thanos. They were having trouble raising Thanos, so they told Emlot to bring young Heather to a monastery to be raised. Thanos' grandfather Kronos is the one who took the spirit of Arthur Douglas, Heather's father, and put it in a new body. Thus, Drax the Destroyer was born. So Heather was taken in by the Titanian monks, called the Priests of Shalom. The Shalom are descendants of the Kotati, which were this peaceful race who lived alongside the Kree on Hala eons ago. Some of them ended up on Titan, some of them ended up on Earth in Vietnam as the Priests of Palm. The Priests of Palm were also raising a girl at the same time, a girl who would come to be known as Mantis. The priests knew either Moondragon or Mantis would, according to prophecy, become the Celestial Madonna. They didn't know which one. But growing up alongside the priests, Heather shaved her head just like them. She meditated, exercised, and developed a full control over her mental and physical selves. She learned mystic arts, genetics, science, while becoming a renowned athlete at the same time. And during this time, an ancient demonic being known as the Dragon of the Moon detected Heather's presence on Titan. He sensed goodness in her, but he also sensed weakness, and he exploited this. He used it to invade her mind, slowly and insidiously corrupting her over time. She became cold and arrogant, carried herself with an air of superiority, and to feed her feelings of superiority, she took on the name Moondragon. Thanos also grew up at the same time on Titan, eventually launching an attack on Titan. Different attack on Titan for you anime fans, decimating the monks in the process, and he took control over the planet. So Moondragon fled in her spaceship and headed to Earth. Now back on Earth once again, she was calling herself Madam McEvil, a name that doesn't do much to hide her intentions. She forced heroes like Namor and Iron Man to fight, but she forced this combat in an attempt to learn strategy and tactics which might help defeat Thanos, but she didn't reveal those motivations to the superheroes of Earth at first, so they figured she was a villain. And then when Thanos arrived, she helped the Avengers and Captain Mar-Vell fight the Mad Titan. She also teamed up with this guy named Kevin Broderick, and with tech from Titan made a cyborg called Ramrod, who was part of her terrible trio along with the Screamer and the Dark Messiah. She was convinced that Thanos was in control of San Francisco, so from her undersea base directed the attacks on the city, and it turns out it was just Broderick who wanted San Francisco for himself. He was the villain. Moondragon gave Daredevil his sight back for a brief moment so he could help her out. She and Daredevil actually got close during the couple of months that she was in town, while also staying with Matt and Tosh in this love triangle situation, which really made Black Widow jealous. But Moondragon actually fell in love with Daredevil, so she left Earth and headed back to space. It was in Giant Size Avengers 4 from the summer of '75 that Moondragon learned she lost the Celestial Madonna title to Mantis, but she joined up with the Avengers team who, in Avengers Annual 7, continued to help fight Thanos. In Avengers 151, the issue where the Avengers offered her membership, she declined and instead brought Patsy Walker, Hellcat, to Titan to work on her skill set some more and possibly continue with their unspoken relationship in peace. But Hellcat went back to Earth after a while, joined up with the Defenders in Defenders issue 44, but by issue 77 of Defenders, Moondragon took away the powers that Hellcat had learned while on Titan. Moondragon was one of the heroes transported away for an Elders of the Universe game between Death and Grandmaster called the Contest of Champions. And after the event, Moondragon conquered the Babani by mind-controlling their entire planet. She was manipulating Thor too, forcing him to be her lover. So the Avengers came to stop her, and she killed her own father Drax by wiping his mind clean during the conflict. Drax's sacrifice allowed the Avengers to then defeat Moondragon. She was weak and injured and defeated, but still thinking herself a god. The god of thunder, Thor, brought her to Asgard, and laid her at the feet of his father, King Odin, for judgment. Odin looked into her heart and saw pure intentions, so he took mercy on her, saying she could live with Brunhilde, the Valkyrie, and he wanted her to learn from Valkyrie how to balance humanity and godhood. But in turn, she had to wear this headband, which limited her powers. If she tried to use her telepathic powers while the headband was on, her headband would activate, causing her pain. A short while later, Valkyrie joined the Defenders, so because of her custodial position over Moondragon, forced Moondragon to hang out as well with the Defenders, and so she was a recurring character in that series. Moondragon was actually sending out mind signals, low-powered as they were due to the headband, hoping that villains would attack the Defenders, and that one of these villains in the fight would knock the headpiece off of her. By Defenders issue 139, she had proven herself enough to not need it anymore, so Odin was okay with it being removed. Later, Moondragon showed up to Alicia Masters when the Golden Lady Her appeared. She wanted their help in resurrecting Adam Warlock, who was buried on High Evolutionary's Counter-Earth after Warlock's battle with Thanos in Mar-Vell 2-in-1 Annual 2. And there's a funny scene where the Thing, Ben Grimm of the Fantastic Four, takes Moondragon over his knee and spanks her. So they travel up to the High Evolutionary's base, and Moondragon was familiar with Starhawk from the Korvac saga, and she would be linked with him, and I'll talk about him more in a moment. But she had sat out the battle with Michael Korvac in Avengers, as she at the time was just trying to help humanity, just like he was. In Defenders 152, the Dragon of the Moon's influence over her, now fully corrupted by it, led to the end of the Defenders, and after 4 of the Defenders seemingly sacrificed themselves to stop her, Moondragon was defeated. In 1989, Tom DeFalco and Al Milgrom, along with Janet Jackson, not that Janet Jackson, put out the Solo Avengers series. In issue 16 of Solo Avengers, we meet Pamela Douglas, the cousin to Heather Douglas. It turns out that when the Defenders physically defeated Moondragon, that her consciousness and her soul went into Pamela's to hide. Heather convinced Pamela to take Gargoyle, one of her friends, and go to Titan. Then, the priests of Shalom used a computer on Titan that Mentor called Isaac, the integral synaptic anti-anionic computer, to make a new body for Heather, a clone body, to inhabit. Once this happened, she and Pamela fled Titan. And that's when they ran into a race of aliens called the Dance. And the Dance are these insectoid-type beings who walk in a way that makes them look like Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld dancing. This encounter activated Pamela's own innate psychic ability, and she somehow summoned forth her eternal friend named Demeter. So then this group went to visit Cloud, another friend of Moondragon's, and there, Moondragon went into a rage and attacked her friends, although she tried to seduce her cousin's boyfriend at the same time. Moondragon flung Pamela and Demeter into space, where Pamela's innate power surged forth again, and she was transformed into Sundragon. Moondragon went to Earth to work as an engineer at Vaughn Security, the company owned by Wendell Vaughn, the hero known as Quasar. But after being rejected by Quasar, Moondragon went off in her spaceship on her own. She was found much later by Adam Warlock, who invited her to join his new Infinity Watch team. Adam Warlock gave Moondragon the Mind Gem, one of the cosmic Infinity Gems, well, Infinity Stones in the MCU. And with it, she was able to send Silver Surfer to the Mindscape of the Great One, where she channels her powers into the stone in her forehead. The Silver Surfer's powers and energy from a red star to pull entire planets out of the Mindscape and into the physical reality of the Marvel 616 universe. It was an immensely powerful act of cosmic and mental might. During the Infinity Crusade, the third part of the Infinity Trilogy, Adam Warlock's good side of being known as the Goddess appointed Moondragon as High Priestess of the Holy Guard. In another Quasar series, Moondragon dated Marlo Chandler, but Marlo went back to Rick, so then Moondragon linked up with Phyla-Vell, the daughter of Captain Mar-Vell and sister to another Captain Marvel named Venus-Vell. In the 2002 Infinity Abyss series, Moondragon was tricked by Thanos into trying to prematurely open up Adam Warlock's healing cocoon. She went into Adam's mind, but Adam yelled at her to leave and get out. So then she went into mind link with Thanos. And then, on a plane of existence, she fought and did battle with the Sorcerer Supreme himself, master of the mystic arts, Doctor Strange. In Annihilation, Thanos kidnapped Moondragon and Phyla-Vell, who was now called Quasar, and they were still a couple. Thanos wanted Moondragon to help understand the mind of Annihilus. Anyhow, Moondragon's father, Drax, and she were able to free Silver Surfer, who then freed Galactus, which turned the tide of the Annihilation War. In the follow-up Annihilation Conquest, Moondragon and her girlfriend tried to free the Kree from the techno-organic Phalanx invasion. Phyla-Vell also tried to stop the Dragon of the Moon from completely taking over Moondragon. As she found out she could turn into an actual dragon, she was stuck for a time, unable to return to her human form. And sadly, Moondragon died at the hands of the leader of the Phalanx, Ultron, who stabbed her right through the chest as she defended her girlfriend from him. When the Skrulls invaded the Guardians of the Galaxy base in the severed celestial head known as Nowhere, Peter Quill had Mantis influence the Guardians team to work together. Moondragon's father Drax and her girlfriend Quasar went to Saturn's moon of Titan, where they met with Mentor. Mentor told them that Moondragon's death wasn't a death at all. It was a metaphysical transformation initiated by the Dragon of the Moon. So to help, Mentor proceeded to murder Drax and Quasar. But this sent them to Oblivion, this liminal borderland zone on the fringe of reality where they ran into Maelstrom. And Maelstrom brought them to the edge of a pit. At the bottom of the pit, the Dragon of the Moon rested, curled up like a serpent. And Maelstrom, now in possession of Quasar's quantum bands, said that Heather was in the belly of that beast. As the dragon awoke, ready to feed and corrupt once more, its belly split open in a blinding ruby light from the quantum sword, lighting up the darkness, and out of the carnage walked Phyla-Vell, with Heather collapsed in her arms. And to get out of Oblivion, they reawoke at Mentor's place, and Moondragon reawakened in a Titan clone body, her second clone body. So then, for War of Kings, where the Kree and the Shi'ar fought, the Guardians split into two teams while Moondragon held down the fort with Cosmo and Mantis, the three telepaths. As the battle went on, Moondragon snuck away to a sub-basement and freed Starhawk. I told you I'd mention him again. After Warlock shut a dimensional rift, a gateway to the Cancerverse called the Fault for the time being, Phyla, now called Martyr, stabbed Warlock through the heart. She revealed that his life was the trade with the dragon she made to get Moondragon back from Oblivion. But then Gamora took her life, fulfilling her namesake. As the Guardian saved the galaxy from Magus, Drax had to tell his daughter that Phyla died along with Cosmo, Mantis, and Gamora, and so Moondragon wept. Despite being in this period of mourning where they told her to rest, Moondragon wanted to help, so she donned a Guardian's uniform, minus the pants. Moondragon rested at Nowhere, but they had to fight Mass Driver from the Luminals, who had come back from the Fault with a parasite. The parasite quickly attached itself to Moondragon, who took the parasite in her womb, and she used all her TK to keep it dormant inside of her. But then the Church of Universal Truth kidnapped her, wanting what was inside of Moondragon. The Guardians got the parasite out of her, and later Moondragon had a psychic link with Phyla, so she knew she was alive somewhere, and Moondragon was determined to find her lost love. It turns out she was imprisoned with the Church, who also had a cocoon in their temple ship. Thanos burst out of the cocoon, and his first victim was Phyla, now truly dead. In 2018's Infinity Countdown, Phyla and Moondragon were slain by Requiem, aka Infinity Gem-armed Gamora. In Infinity Wars 3, she gazed into an adjacent reality and saw versions of them there, so this adjacent reality, Moondragon and Phyla were able to come over to the Prime Universe. And this version of Moondragon was last seen in Al Ewing's 2020 volume of Guardians, where she and Phyla are at a cookout on Half-World when Nova shows up to ask the team for help. Issue 5 of the series, as of this recording, is not out yet. It's on hold due to global pandemic. Moondragon is set to be featured quite heavily in this series. In fact, Issue 5 is all about Moondragon. The synopsis says, Moondragon is a hero. With her wife at her side, she came to our reality from a dimension of heroes to save us all from evil. But our reality already had a Moondragon, and she can't be a hero all the time. The Dragon of the Moon has returned, and it won't leave until it's fed on a soul. And so that's how we leave our dear Moony in the spring of 2020, ready for her ongoing saga and ready for her debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For now, that's a wrap on the story, my friends. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be one of the first to know when I upload videos just like this each and every week. I'm Jesse, this is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.